everybody, it's Carrie with From Seed to Spoon. I was out here in the garden doing some yard work, and I thought that I would make a quick video just talking about a little bit what we're doing right now, preparing for our fall garden. It is almost September and the kids have gone back to school, so we are getting a little bit more time to work out here in the garden, which has been very neglected this summer. So we have a garden full of a lot of weeds and a lot of extra foods and everything like that. So we're just going through and cleaning out. A lot of people don't realize, but fall is one of the best times to garden, at least here in Oklahoma. We love fall gardening because it starts to get a little bit cooler. It's not quite as hot out here. And it's a really good time to plant a lot of my favorite things. So like spinach, root crops, herbs, things like that. So one of the first things that I do whenever I come out here to prepare for the fall garden is to start to get rid of a lot of the summer crops, things that aren't going to be producing much longer or have even stopped producing. So things like squash, tomatoes, peppers, things like that. I start to just pull a bunch of that and I take it inside and I preserve a lot of it. So they're really easy to preserve. One of my favorite ways to do this is simply by freezing them. Peppers especially are super easy to freeze. All you need to do, I just run them through a Ninja, chop them down, and then they're super easy to just pop in the freezer and then move over to a freezer safe baggie, and they're good to go. I'm also pulling a lot of the bean plants that we have and pulling those and taking those inside to preserve those. We actually have a video about how we preserve those, and it's super simple. I mean, long story short, you just simply blanch them in some water and then move them over to a freezer safe bag. And we have those for most all year long whenever we grow them in the bulk that we do. I'm also pulling quite a few of our herbs because we have so many of those. So I've been pulling some of those too. And how I go about preserving those is just either hanging them to dry or I put them in our dehydrator that we have. Either way, it works great. And then we can have those for all year long too in the kitchen. So once I go through and clear out all of the summer crops and all of the weeds, then we are going to go ahead and start putting in some of our transplants that we have. Some that we started either last month or also ones that we get from the local nursery as well. Things like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, things like that. You can also start them by seed too if you wanted to give that a try, see if you can get those going. Here in Oklahoma, we usually have enough time to start them now. And we're also, besides those, we're going to be starting and growing quite a few greens. It's one of my favorite things to do because that's one of the things that we save the most money on, because I buy so much spinach, lettuce, things like that at the store in the summer. And because we can't really grow that here where we are since it gets too hot. So I love when it comes fall and springtime, and then I can grow more of that outside. So I'm really looking forward to that, having homegrown spinach and lettuce, all of that again. Root crops are going to be another thing that we are going to plant a lot of coming up really soon. So what I mean by that are things like carrots. Those are especially one of my favorites, and the kids. So we plant these rainbow carrots that are amazing. So when you pull them up and harvest them, they're a bunch of different colors. The kids love it. So whenever we plant those, we either use a seeding square that makes it easier to separate out how many per square go in, because they're really tiny and there's a lot per square foot that go in. So I like to use the seeding square because it makes it a little bit easier. If I don't have the seeding square handy, seeding tape works great also. So check those out. We'll be doing a lot of that. One of the most difficult things about doing carrots and things like that is the fact that you always have to make sure that the seedlings or the seeds stay moist in order to germinate. So we keep either a drip irrigation on it or a sprinkler constantly, just until it does germinate and we have little baby seedlings. then you can start to back off a little bit. But it's really important to keep them moist while they are trying to germinate. So that's just a little bit about what we're doing right now in our garden here in Oklahoma. It might be different in your area, so if it is, let us know. We're curious to see what you're growing in your area too. If you haven't already, please check out our free app from Seed to Spoon in the Apple and Android store. It'll help you calculate out growing dates based upon where you live. It'll also give you details about square foot gardening, pest control, companion planting, all of that. So check it out. Check us out. All the social medias. We look forward to seeing you.